The message came on a regular Tuesday morning. Tom Reed was drinking his coffee, reviewing signal data from deep space, when his computer screen started showing unusual patterns. At first, he thought it was just another space noise, like the hundreds of others he had seen over his 15 years at the Global Space Research Center. But this was different. The signal repeated every 10 seconds, too regular to be natural. Tom's hands shook as he put down his coffee cup. He had dreamed of this moment since he was a young boy looking up at the stars. Without taking his eyes off the screen, he reached for his phone and called the center's director. Within hours, the quiet research building turned into a busy hub of activity. Scientists from different departments rushed in, their faces showing excitement and worry. Military officers in neat uniforms walked through the halls, talking in low voices. Everyone knew this was it, humanity's first contact with alien life. The message itself was simple. It used basic math and repeated patterns that any advanced civilization would understand. The aliens were saying hello, and they were coming to visit Earth. They must be incredibly advanced, Tom heard people saying in the hallways. Think about it. They can travel between stars. Others nodded, imagining beings with technology far beyond human understanding. Tom saw his coworkers drawing pictures of tall, glowing aliens with huge heads full of superior knowledge. The world governments decided to tell everyone about the message. They wanted people to have time to get ready for the big change that was coming. On TV, experts talked about how this would change everything. Religious leaders spoke about what it meant for their beliefs. Children in schools drew pictures of spaceships and strange creatures. Tom's team worked day and night to learn more from the signal. They found out the aliens called themselves the Watchers, and they would arrive in 3 months. The aliens sent pictures of their ship so humans would know what to look for in the sky. Look at these engine designs, Tom said to his friend Bill, who worked with him. They're using some kind of space drive we've never seen before. Just think what else they might show us. Both men spent hours studying every piece of information the aliens sent, trying to understand the advanced science behind it. The governments of Earth actually worked together for once. They picked a team of experts to meet the aliens: scientists, language experts, military leaders, and cultural experts. Tom was chosen to lead the science team, which made him both proud and nervous. As the days passed, more messages came from the aliens. They asked simple questions about Earth, its air, its gravity, its daily cycle of light and dark. Tom thought these questions were a bit strange for such an advanced species. Maybe they were just being careful, he told himself. People on Earth prepared in different ways. Some built special bunkers, thinking the aliens might be dangerous. Others planned big welcome parties. Companies started selling alien-themed everything: T-shirts, toys, phone cases. Everyone had an opinion about what the aliens would look like or what they would want. Tom's team set up their meeting place in New Zealand. They built a large open area where the alien ship could land safely. They put up big screens to show everybody what was happening, and they made sure they had every kind of measuring tool ready to study the aliens and their ship. The night before the aliens were supposed to arrive, Tom stood outside looking up at the stars. He thought about all the movies he had seen about first contact with aliens. They always showed the aliens as either scary monsters or godlike beings with amazing powers. He wondered what these real aliens would be like. Tomorrow everything changes, he said quietly to himself. Tomorrow we find out we're not alone. He felt the weight of history on his shoulders. Humans had wondered about aliens for hundreds of years, and he would be one of the first to meet them. Back in his temporary office, Tom checked all the equipment one last time. Everything had to be perfect. These aliens had crossed the huge empty space between stars to meet humans. They must have so much to teach Earth about science, about the universe, about everything. Tom had no idea that the biggest surprise was still coming. The aliens would indeed change how humans saw everything, but not in the way anyone expected. The first sign of the alien ship was a small dot of light in the morning sky, brighter than any star. People all over the world stepped outside their homes to look up. Millions of phones recorded as the dot grew larger, coming closer to Earth. Tom and his team watched through powerful telescopes. The alien ship wasn't what anyone expected. Instead of a sleek, shiny spacecraft like in movies, it looked more like a simple metal cylinder with round ends. It was big, about the size of a cargo ship, but nothing fancy. "That can't be right," Bill said, checking the telescope settings again. "Where are the fancy lights? The strange designs? It looks like something we could have built." Tom didn't answer. He was too busy taking pictures and measurements of the approaching ship. The world held its breath as the ship entered Earth's atmosphere. Military planes flew nearby, ready to protect Earth if needed, but keeping their distance as agreed. The alien ship moved slowly and carefully, like a guest trying not to break anything in someone's home. News channels showed nothing else. Everyone saw the same thing. A plain-looking spaceship getting closer and closer to the landing site in New Zealand. Some people felt disappointed. They had expected something more impressive from beings who could travel between stars. At the landing site, Tom stood with other team members behind safety lines. They all wore their best clothes and had practiced their greetings hundreds of times. Behind them, rows of cameras would show this moment to billions of people watching at home. The ship came down as gentle as a falling leaf, using some kind of gravity control that barely disturbed the air. No loud rockets, no fire, no drama. It just floated down and settled on its landing gear like it had done this 1,000 times before. Everything went quiet. The ship sat there, looking almost boring in its simplicity. Its metal skin had marks from space dust and long travel, making it look like a well-used truck rather than an advanced alien vessel. "Maybe they're scanning us," someone whispered after 5 minutes of nothing happening. Tom checked his instruments. They showed some weak energy readings from the ship, but nothing strong or dangerous. It was as if the aliens were being extra careful not to frighten anyone. Finally, after what felt like forever, a door opened in the side of the ship. It didn't slide up dramatically or split into pieces like in science fiction movies. It just swung open like a regular door on Earth. Everyone leaned forward, cameras zoomed in, and millions watching at home moved closer to their screens. They all expected tall, glowing beings, or maybe floating creatures made of light. What they saw instead made them question everything they had believed about advanced alien life. A small figure stepped out, about the size of a 10-year-old child. It walked on 2 legs and had 2 arms, looking surprisingly normal except for its gray-blue skin and large eyes. It wore simple clothes that looked a lot like the jumpsuits human astronauts used, just sized smaller. Behind the first alien, 2 more appeared. They carried what looked like regular tools and measuring devices, nothing that seemed more advanced than what humans had. They moved carefully, as if Earth's gravity was a bit stronger than what they were used to. Tom and his team had practiced walking forward to meet the aliens, but now they stood frozen in surprise. The aliens seemed just as unsure, looking up at the humans with what appeared to be wonder, or maybe even nervousness. The first alien raised its hand in what was clearly a wave, a gesture so normal it made some people laugh in relief. It then reached into a pocket and pulled out what looked like a simple tablet computer, not too different from what humans used every day. Tom found himself relaxing a little. All their fears about super-advanced beings looking down on humans started to fade. These aliens seemed regular, normal, almost simple. But that itself was strange. How had they managed to travel between stars? As Tom prepared to step forward and make humanity's first official greeting, he noticed something in the aliens' behavior that made him pause. They weren't acting like advanced beings being careful with primitive humans. They were acting like visitors meeting someone they weren't sure they could keep up with. The biggest revelation was yet to come, but already Tom could feel his understanding of humanity's place in the universe starting to shift. The alien held up its tablet, and a voice came out speaking perfect English. "We greet the advanced beings of Earth," it said. We are honored to meet such a remarkable species. Tom blinked in confusion. Advanced beings. He looked back at his team, but they seemed just as puzzled. The three aliens stood waiting, looking up at the humans with what could only be described as admiration. "Welcome to Earth," Tom said, following the practiced greeting. "We're honored to meet beings capable of traveling between stars." He kept his voice friendly, but couldn't hide his confusion at their simple appearance. The lead alien tilted its head. "You seem surprised," it said through the tablet. "Did you expect us to be more?" It paused, searching for the right word. "Complex." "Well," Tom said carefully, "we assumed any species advanced enough for space travel would be." He didn't want to say more impressive, but that's what everyone was thinking. The alien made a sound that might have been a laugh. "This is why we came. You don't understand how special you are." It waved at the human technology around them. "Look at all you've built. Look at how quickly you've advanced. Do you know most species take 10,000 years to discover what you learned in just a few centuries?" The other aliens were walking around, taking pictures of simple things. A cell phone someone had dropped, a coffee cup, even the buttons on Tom's shirt. They acted like tourists seeing amazing inventions for the first time. "But your ship crossed light years to reach us," Bill said, stepping forward. "That's far beyond our technology." The lead alien shook its head. "We used the same physics you already know. We just had more time to build the ships. Simple, reliable technology that works over long periods. Nothing like the amazing things you humans make." More aliens came out of the ship now, each carrying basic tools and measuring devices. They moved with careful steps, as if worried about breaking something. One of them picked up the dropped phone, turning it over in its hands with obvious wonder. "Most life in space is like us," the leader explained. "Simple beings who develop slowly. We grow, we learn, we spread out among the stars. But you humans," it gestured at the city in the distance, "you create things we can barely understand. You make art that makes us feel new emotions. You dream up ideas that never occurred to our people in all our history." Tom felt his world turning upside down. All this time, humans had assumed they were behind, that alien life would be far advanced. But what if it was the opposite? What if humans were the ones moving too fast, thinking too differently, building too quickly? A younger alien approached them, holding up something it had found. Just a simple pocket calculator. "How does it think so fast?" it asked through its tablet, amazement clear in its voice. The humans exchanged looks. A calculator was kids' technology to them. "Show them the quantum computer," Bill whispered to Tom. But Tom was starting to understand why that might not be a good idea. These beings were still using regular computers, maybe even simpler ones. Showing them quantum technology might scare them. The lead alien seemed to sense their confusion. "We watched your broadcasts, your internet. We saw how you expected us to be godlike beings with magical technology. We almost didn't come. We were afraid you'd be disappointed. But we had to meet you, to warn you." It stopped talking as another alien rushed up, holding a human medical tablet. The alien was making excited noises, showing something on the screen to its leader. The leader's large eyes got even wider. "You can edit genes, cure diseases, change the code of life itself." The alien's translator couldn't quite hide the shock in its voice. "We thought such things were impossible." Tom looked at the medical tablet, showing basic gene therapy procedures that Earth hospitals did every day. He suddenly understood why these aliens seemed so simple. Humans weren't behind at all. They were far, far ahead. The alien leader steadied itself and looked up at Tom with what seemed like both fear and hope. "We came to warn you about a danger in the galaxy. But now, seeing all this, I think maybe you're the ones who can help us. Would you be willing to learn about why we really came to Earth?" Tom sat in a meeting room with the alien leader, who had told them to call it Blue, a simple translation of its real name. Around them, both human and alien scientists shared information, but it felt more like humans teaching than a real exchange. Your world made you different, Blue explained, pointing at pictures of Earth's history. Most living worlds are gentle, simple. Life grows slowly and peacefully. But Earth, Blue touched a picture of a volcano, then one of a hurricane. Earth is beautiful but harsh. You had to become strong to survive. Tom thought about this. Humans had always seen Earth's challenges as problems to solve. They never considered that having to solve those problems had made them special. Show me again how you make music, Blue asked, pointing at a piano in the corner of the room. The aliens had become fascinated by human music after hearing it for the first time. One of the scientists went to the piano and played a simple song. The aliens in the room stopped everything they were doing. Their large eyes got wider, and some made soft sounds of wonder. How do you think of putting sounds together like that? Blue asked. How do you know which sounds will make us feel things? We just try things until they sound right, the scientist said, looking confused. He played another song, this one more complex. Two of the aliens had to sit down, overwhelmed by the music. You just try things, Blue repeated, shaking its head in amazement. Do you know how special that is? Most species only make simple sounds for basic communication. But you make beauty from nothing. Tom watched as more humans showed the aliens different things. Someone drew a picture, and the aliens were shocked that humans could imagine things that didn't exist and make them visible to others. Another person explained simple math, and the aliens were surprised by how quickly humans could solve problems. Tell me, Blue said, turning to Tom, how many different languages do humans speak? About 7,000, Tom answered. Blue's translator crackled as it tried to process this. 7,000. We thought we were unusual because our species has 3 languages. How do you keep so many in your heads? Tom smiled. Actually, many humans can speak several different languages. Some people learn new ones just for fun. The aliens talked among themselves quickly, their voices high with excitement. They seemed amazed by the idea of learning languages for entertainment. Later, they showed the aliens a children's science class through a video call. The aliens watched in silence as kids learned about atoms, cells, and space. At the end, Blue turned to Tom with what looked like concern on its face. Your younglings learn in 1 year what our species learned over centuries, it said. Do you understand now why we came? Why we had to meet you? Tom was starting to understand. Humans had always looked to the stars expecting to be the students. Instead, they were the teachers. The thought was both exciting and scary. What if we're so advanced? Tom asked. Why haven't we discovered space travel like you have? Blue made the sound that Tom now knew was laughter. You've only been trying for less than 100 years. Give yourselves time. We took 2,000 years after discovering spaceflight to make ships that could reach other stars. At your speed, you'll probably do it in 50 years. As the day went on, Tom noticed something interesting. The aliens were simple, yes, but they were also wise. They didn't rush. They thought carefully about everything. They worked together without arguing. Maybe humans could learn something from them after all. There's something else you should know, Blue said as the day was ending. Something about why we really came to find you. The alien looked worried now. We've seen what fast-growing species like yours can become. Some turn bad, dangerous. We watched you for a long time before deciding to visit. And what did you decide about us? Tom asked, suddenly nervous. Blue looked at the piano, then at the children's classroom on the screen, then at the art someone had drawn. We decided that any species that makes such beautiful things, that teaches its young to understand the universe, that dreams of peaceful meetings with strange beings, that species must have a good heart. Tom felt relief, but also saw worry still in Blue's eyes. There's more, isn't there? More you need to tell us. Blue nodded slowly. Yes, about why the galaxy needs humans, needs your speed, your creativity, your strength, but also about the price that comes with being special. The aliens brought out their star maps on the 3rd day. They spread them across the big table, showing thousands of worlds where life existed. Tom noticed that Earth was marked in bright red, while most other worlds were in soft blue or green. The red marks show fast-growing worlds like yours, Blue explained. See how few there are. Less than 1 in every 100 life-bearing worlds creates a species like humans. The alien pointed to different spots on the map. These green ones are worlds like ours. Simple life, slow growth, basic tools. Bill picked up one of the maps, studying it closely. But these worlds are everywhere. There's so many of them. He counted quickly. Thousands of living worlds. Yes, Blue said. Life is common in space. Smart life too. But advanced life like yours. The alien shook its head. Very, very rare. Tom watched as his team shared Earth's medical knowledge with the aliens. He had to tell the doctors to start with basic things. The aliens didn't even know about germs until a few hundred years ago. When the humans showed them pictures of human surgery, the aliens had to take a break to calm down. You can sleep through healing. One alien asked, looking at pictures of anesthesia. And you can see inside bodies without cutting them open. Another alien had to sit down when they explained X-rays and MRI machines. Maybe we should wait before showing them gene therapy, Tom whispered to his team. They agreed. The aliens were already overwhelmed by basic human medicine. The aliens shared their spaceflight technology next. Tom was surprised to find that he understood most of it. They used simple, reliable engines that worked on basic physics. Nothing fancy, just careful engineering that worked well over long times. Humans could probably build similar ships within 10 years. But your computers, Blue said, looking at a simple laptop. They're magic to us. Our best machines take days to do what yours do in seconds. The alien touched the laptop carefully, like it was touching something holy. And you give these to children to learn with. Tom smiled, remembering how his young nephew complained that his gaming computer was too slow. Humans always wanted things to be faster, better, more advanced. They never realized how far ahead they already were. One of the aliens was watching a group of kids playing soccer in a field near their landing site. Look how fast they learn, it said to Blue. Those small humans saw others playing, and in 1 hour they made up new rules for the game. It took our people 5 generations to invent our first sport. Blue nodded. This is why we need them. Fast minds, quick learning, creative thinking. The alien turned to Tom. Your people solve problems in days that other species spend years thinking about. Later that day, they showed the aliens a car factory. The aliens watched the robots building cars with their eyes wide in shock. When they learned that humans had similar factories all over the world, 2 of them had to go back to their ship to rest. I don't understand, one alien said to Tom. If you're this advanced, why didn't you come to space to find us? Why did we have to come to you? Tom thought about this. I guess we were too busy looking down at our own problems. We thought we weren't ready for space because we still have things to fix on Earth. Blue made its laughing sound. You don't need to be perfect to join space life. Nobody is perfect. But your speed, your way of fixing problems. The alien looked serious now. We need that. The galaxy needs that. Why? Tom asked. What's out there that needs our help? Blue looked at the star maps again, pointing to a dark area where no worlds were marked. Because of them. The only other species we found that grows as fast as humans. But they didn't make art or music or care about healing. They only wanted to take things from others. Tom felt a chill. Are they coming here? Not yet, Blue said. But they're moving through space, taking over worlds. Simple worlds, like ours. We can't stop them. We think maybe you can. That's why we came, to warn you, and to ask for help. Tom looked at the maps, at all those worlds full of simple, peaceful life. He thought about how humans had always dreamed of being part of something bigger than themselves. Maybe this was it. Maybe this was humanity's real purpose in the galaxy. The room went quiet as Blue showed them the pictures. The images came from a small world at the edge of known space, where the aggressive species had first appeared. The peaceful aliens who lived there hadn't even tried to fight back. They didn't know how. They call themselves the Strong Ones, Blue explained, its voice heavy with worry. Like humans, they grew fast. Unlike humans, they never learned to care about others. The alien showed more pictures of destroyed cities and empty worlds. Tom looked at the images, feeling sick. How many worlds have they taken? 23 so far, Blue said. They don't kill everyone. They make the simple species work for them. Take their resources, build their ships. The alien touched a picture of strange-looking spacecraft. They're getting closer to more populated areas of space. The human military leaders in the room studied the pictures carefully. One general spoke up. Their ships don't look very advanced. We could probably build better ones. Blue nodded. That's why we came to Earth. The strong ones grow fast like you, but they aren't as bright. They don't create new things like humans do. They just take what others have made and use it for themselves. More pictures appeared on the screen. The strong ones looked like large, heavy creatures with thick arms and rough skin. They evolved on a world even harsher than Earth, Blue explained. But while humans learned to solve problems, they learned only to take what they wanted. How long until they reach your worlds? Tom asked. Maybe 50 years, Blue said. We tried talking to them, offering them trade, knowledge, friendship. They laughed at us, said simple species deserve to serve strong ones. The alien looked down. We're not fighters. Most species aren't. We never needed to be until now. The room filled with quiet talk as humans discussed what they had learned. Tom watched their faces, worried but also determined. Humans had always feared aliens would come to conquer Earth. Instead, aliens had come asking for help against conquerors. We have recordings of them, Blue said quietly. Would you like to see how they treat others? The video played on the screen. It showed the strong ones landing on a peaceful world, demanding resources and workers. When the local aliens tried to explain they wanted to stay free, the strong ones just laughed and took what they wanted anyway. Stop the video, one of the human leaders said. Everyone in the room looked angry now. If there was one thing humans couldn't stand, it was bullies picking on those weaker than themselves. How many peaceful worlds are in danger? Another leader asked. Blue touched the star map. Thousands. Most species live in this area of space. The alien pointed to a large cluster of stars. The strong ones will reach here first, in about 50 years. Then they'll have enough resources to spread everywhere. Tom thought about everything they had learned in the past few days. About how special humans were, how quickly they learned and grew. About all the peaceful worlds out there, full of simple people who had never needed to fight. About bullies who thought being strong meant they could take whatever they wanted. We used to be afraid, Blue said softly, that humans might be like them. You grow so fast, learn so quickly. But then we saw your art, your music, your healing machines. We saw how you teach your children to be kind, to help others. How you tell stories about protecting the weak. The human leaders talked among themselves. Tom could see they had already made up their minds. Humans had always wanted to be part of something bigger than themselves. Now they had a chance, not to conquer, but to protect. We'll need to learn more about space travel, one leader said. About all the worlds out there. About these strong ones. We'll help you learn everything, Blue said quickly. But can you help us? Will Earth stand with the simple worlds against them? The head of the United Nations stood up. We'll need to talk to all Earth's governments. Make plans. Build ships. But she looked around the room, seeing everyone nodding. I think I can tell you now what Earth's answer will be. Tom watched as humans and aliens began working together, sharing knowledge, making plans. Humans had always looked to the stars wondering if they were alone. Now they knew they weren't alone. And more than that, They were needed. The galaxy needed humanity's speed, creativity, and most importantly, their desire to protect others. 5 years had passed since the Watchers first landed on Earth. Tom stood on the observation deck of humanity's first deep spaceship, looking out at the stars. The ship wasn't as simple as the aliens' vessels, but that was the point. Humans couldn't help making things better, more efficient, more advanced. "The testing is finished," Bill said, walking onto the deck. "The new engines work even better than we hoped. We can reach the outer colonies in half the time the Watchers' ships take." He grinned. Not bad for a species that didn't have space travel 5 years ago. Tom nodded, remembering how fast things had changed. Once Earth's governments understood the situation, they had worked together like never before. The whole planet united behind a single goal: protecting the peaceful species of the galaxy from those who would hurt them. Blue entered the deck, moving with the easy grace of someone now used to human ships. "More worlds want to join the protection agreement," it said. "They saw the defense stations you built around the outer systems. Now they believe we can really stop the strong ones." The defense stations were simple enough for other species to use, but clever enough to keep attackers away. That was humanity's special touch, making things that helped others protect themselves. "How many worlds are in the agreement now?" Tom asked, though he already knew the answer. "Over 500, Blue said proudly. "And more joining every day." The strong ones didn't expect anyone to stand up to them. They certainly didn't expect their targets to have powerful friends. On the main screen, they could see Earth's second great project, a massive space station where humans taught other species. Not everything, just enough to help them protect themselves. Some of the simple species were starting to grow faster, learning from humans how to solve problems in new ways. "Remember how we thought aliens would come to teach us?" Bill laughed. "Instead, we became the teachers." He pointed to a group of alien children visiting the ship's engine room. "Those kids will know things their parents never dreamed of." Tom watched the alien children learning. Humans were careful not to teach too much too fast. They had learned that other species needed time to grow at their own pace, but they taught enough to make a difference. "The strong ones sent us a message," Blue said quietly. "They say we should give up. That strong species are meant to rule weak ones." The alien made a very human-like smile. "We sent them pictures of your defense stations. They stopped talking after that." The ship's screen showed more human vessels under construction back on Earth. Not warships. Humans had decided early on that they wouldn't become conquerors themselves. These were ships for teaching, for helping, for protecting. "Did we make the right choice?" Tom asked Blue. "Teaching other species to be more like us. Won't that change them?" Blue touched the window, pointing at a distant star. "My home world is there. 5 years ago, we could barely understand your simplest machines. Now we're building our own computers. My children solve problems in days that took me years to understand." The alien turned to Tom. "You didn't change who we are. You showed us who we could be." The ship's alert system beeped softly. Another group of worlds was asking to join the protection agreement. Tom looked at the request. Worlds so far away that humans hadn't even known they existed a few years ago. "Ready to go meet some new friends?" Bill asked, already setting course. Tom smiled, remembering how humans used to fear meeting aliens. Now they traveled between stars, teaching, helping, protecting. They had found their place in the galaxy, not as conquerors or servants, but as guardians. "You know what still surprises me," Blue said as they prepared to leave. "Humans were so worried about proving themselves to advanced aliens. You never considered that maybe the galaxy was waiting for you all along. Waiting for someone strong enough to be kind, smart enough to be wise, and fast enough to help others grow." The ship's engines hummed to life, ready to carry them to new worlds. Humanity had finally found its purpose among the stars. Not to rule, not to fight, but to protect, to teach, to help others reach for the stars in their own way, at their own speed. As they moved away from Earth, Tom thought about how wrong everyone had been about aliens. Humans weren't behind it all. They had been ahead all along. They just needed to learn that being advanced didn't mean standing alone. It meant helping others find their own path to the stars.